Okay, thank you, everyone. We want to begin again. Most of you are probably familiar, but I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Rev Kiyonobu Kuwahara, who is the minister of the Berkeley Buddhist Temple, also the director of the Jodo Shinshu Correspondence Course and the Jodo Shinshu International Office, right? And he will continue with today's talks. Kuwahara-sensei.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Madeline, can you hear me right? Yeah. 大丈夫ね。はい、ありがとうございます。So, thank you everyone for joining Pacific seminar and then correspondence course, August workshop. Yeah, so it's nice to, have so many people. The Hondo Discord is almost full. And then, I really appreciate Hirano sensei, and then Koichi-san, and then Judy, CP staff, and then Madeline, and then Umed sensei is our CEO. So he has a cap like a writing CEO cap, right? So, and then we had such a wonderful speaker from Australia. So John sensei, thank you very much for your very inspiring, wonderful message. So his last visit to the JSC was 7 years ago, before the COVID. But it's always nice to hear John sensei's presentation. So in contrast to John sensei's very inspiring talk, mine is more like an informative thing. So I gave a handout. Thank you, Kamera-san, for helping me to give you the handout. My 2-page handout for my presentation today. So this year the topic is the significance of orthodox teaching in Jodo Shinshu. So I know there are many different ways to talk about approaches about this topic, but I am going to focus on more historical perspective or institutional perspective about this topic. Because what is the orthodox teaching of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism? How or why do we have this so-called orthodoxy, right? So to think about how our organization, our tradition have this orthodox teaching, I think it's nice to know historical background and then institutional situation. How do we have current orthodox teaching our school? So this is a picture at the Honganji Hondo Hall in 2014, June 2014. And then you see 2 ministers, priests. So this is a 24th Monshu, spiritual leader of Jodo Shinshu Honganji Ha, Sokunyo Shoni, what we call Zenmon-san. And then, so this is our current spiritual leader, Go Monshu, the 25th spiritual leader, Monshu, Senyo Shoni. So there is a big ceremony, accession ceremony to give the responsibility leadership to the next leader from 24th, 25th Monshu. And then, so the first spiritual leader is Shinran Shoni, Venerable Shinran, who lived 12th century in Japan, Japanese pure and Buddhist monk. So he is the first one, and then up until today, this teaching have inherited, from the Monshu to Monshu. And then this year and last year, we had a big celebration, the 850th of Shinran Shonin's birth, and then also 800th anniversary of the establishment of Jodo Shinshu teaching, which is based on the idea Shinran Shonin anyway completed the composition of his main work, Jodo Shinshu, 1224. So this year is the 800th anniversary of the establishment of the Jodo Shinshu teaching, like a birth of the Jodo Shinshu teaching. So that's why we kind of combined Shinran Shonin's birthday, 850th birthday, and then 800th anniversary of Jodo Shinshu establishment. Combining those two anniversaries, we have a big celebration last year and this year. I know some of you went to Japan as a group tour to attend the service. So we have a long history lineage. And then speaking of the lineage of our tradition, starting from Shinran Shonin, the second Monshu is Nyoshin Shonin. Do you know Nyoshin Shonin? Son of Zenran. So Zenran is Shinran Shonin's oldest son who was disowned. But interestingly, the second Monshu of our tradition is son Zenran, who was disowned by father Shinran Shonin, is the second of our tradition. Today I'm not going to talk about this history, and there are kind of drama. And then the third Kakunya Shonin, Zenya Shonin, this is all the way up to the current Monshu is 25th. And then all of them are like a direct descendant, like a blood connection with Shinran Shonin. So this is one of the uniqueness of Jodo Shinshu too. So we are the Buddhist organization tradition which allows clergy marry. So that's why Shinran Shonin, as you know, had a family, right? Ishini-san was a wife, and then he had children. But this is not the only school after Shinran Shonin, right? So speaking of like a Japanese parent school established or started by Shinran Shonin, there are 10 traditional schools. I would say 10 traditional means there are other kind of newly formed groups based on Shinran Shonin's teaching. Like a Shinrankai is a kind of big one, a famous one. So there are 10 schools. The first one is Shinran Shonin. And then, for example, so Honganji-ha and Otani-ha, this is so-called Nishi Honganji, Higashi Honganji tradition. Okay. And then up until 12th, we have 11th, we have the same Gomonshu. And then from 12th, we split Nishi and Higashi because of political, causes of the conditions. And then today, we had a service before this Pacific seminar. There is a small shrine over there. And then you see two things, container. And then one container carries Renya Shonin's remains, ashes, bones. And then the other one, container, carries the remains of Kenya Shonin. Kenya Shonin's bone is enshrined over there with Renya Shonin, which was donated, gifted by Kujo Sensei. And then Kujo Sensei, his home temple in Kyoto, received them from the Honganji. So should be authentic, not the fake. Anyway, so this is Jodo Shinshu Honganji-ha. So today, I'm going to talk about just focusing on Jodo Shinshu Honganji-ha school, which means, although started from Shinran Shonin, referring to Kyogyo Shinsho, but each school slightly has a different orthodox teaching, right? So that's why it's very important to know what is the orthodox teaching of Jodo Shinshu Honganji-ha. Because if you go to Higashi Honganji, what we say or our teaching could be wrong in other Jodo Shinshu or Shinshu schools. So first, I am going to talk about, introduce so-called orthodoxy teaching of Jodo Shinshu Hongan-ha right now by referring to Shusei, which is a Jodo Shinshu constitution. So as I said, Jodo Shinshu has a long history since the established composition of Kyogyo Shinsho 1224. And then as an organization, it has developed, right? And then at the time of Renyo Shoni, it became the nationwide largest Buddhist organization in Japan, the country of Buddhism, right? And then it's a big organization, a lot of people, so that's why we need a rule. So this is a current Shumon Hoki, so Honganji bylaws this thick. And then so our organization is governed or kind of running the business based on this rule. And then at the beginning of this Shumon Hoki, there is a Shusei. And then here you see the teaching. This is how our organization, Jodo Shinshu Honganji-ha, describe, explain, share what is our teaching. And then I put please see the handout. Page 1. So I quoted the whole section of teaching here. There are 4 paragraphs. That's how the current Jodo Shinshu Honganji has summarized, described what our teaching is. So in other words, this could be the so-called orthodox teaching of Jodo Shinshu Honganji right now. Koichi-san, ごめんなさい. Did you get my email about sharing the PDF file? ごめんなさい. Sorry, online people. ごめんなさいね.
I sent them a copy already.
Okay, good. Yeah, ありがとうございました。So, Zoom people, ありがとうございます。Thank you for joining today's seminar from here and there, different places of the world. ありがとうございます。That is a teaching, orthodox teaching right now. And then, who has the authority to decide, determine what is the orthodox teaching of our organization? So let me share this Honganji bylaws, which is different from Shusei. Shusei is more summarized, kind of condensed version of this Shuho. Shuho is more long, extensive bylaws of Honganji. And then here, there is the chapter 3 talks about the Monshu, Gomonshu-sama, his position, role, responsibility. And then here, it says, position of Monshu, Monshu inherits the Dharma lamp, leads the organization, and then presides over the religious matters. So he is first in charge of everything regarding religious matter within this organization, right? And then the next thing is, so Article 8, Monshu determines the validity of doctrinal understanding and anjin of the Jodo Shinshu Honganji-ha. So again, so Gomonshu can say, oh, this is right, this is wrong. And then that is what the Gomonshu says, determines is our orthodoxy, or our, can decide right and wrong of the teaching. But of course, when he needs a decision, determination, he needs somebody to talk to. That is House of Academicians, in Japanese, kangakuryo. So Gomonshu can consult with kangaku people. So House of Academicians in Japanese, kangakuryo. So this is more legal system or institutional system how we determine so-called orthodoxy in our organization. Then let me talk a little bit about kangakuryo. So House of Academicians. So according to the bylaws, 5 members, and then 1 is head, and then 4 are members. Kangaku Ryoto, and then Kangaku. So right now it is Asada Sensei who has a background specialist of Tendai Buddhism. He's a head of academician. And then before Asada Sensei, Tokunaga Sensei, who came to a couple of times to the BCA overseas district. And he was in chief of Honganji's English translation. Tokunaga Sensei was the head of the Kangaku. And then let me share more about the system. So I said 5 Kangaku people forms this house of academicians. And then they are from this kind of pool of Kangaku scholars. Jodo Shinshu Honganji has this academic ranks, starting from Tokugo, Jokyo, Hokyo, Shikyo, Kangaku. And then, so there are right now 16 Kangaku scholars, Kangaku priest, Jodo Shinshu priest who has the academic rank of Kangaku. There are 16 right now, but the maximum 18. And then once you receive the appointment until you die, you are Kangaku. And then the next rank is Shikyo. Shikyo technology. So this house of academicians, Kangaku, the 5 Kangaku priests are selected from them, and then they form this group. And then they are kind of practically in charge of doctrinal matters. And then how do we get this, we call it, this is gakkai. In Japanese, we call this gakkai, academic rank. And how do we get this academic rank? So fall and spring, 2 times a year, there is an exam at the Honganji. And then, so the exam is called denshi. So we submit the application, study preparation, and then go there. And then first is a written test. So I talk this later, but we call it Anjin Rondai. So we need to memorize everything. And then the first thing is we need to write down what we memorized. And then if people who pass the written test, course, and then interview is a kind of afternoon. And then that's if applicant is good enough, pass, and then receive the gakkai. So this is the Honganji, and then also, by the way, so those are the number of how many Jodo Shinshu priests have those academic ranks. Although this is a little bit old information, the 3, Hokyo, Jokyo, Tokugo, those numbers from 2011. So those 2 are current numbers. You can have a kind of rough idea of how many Jodo Shinshu priests have those academic ranks out of, do you know how many Jodo Shinshu ministers in the Nishi Honganji or Honganji have? We have over 30,000 ordained priests. I'm one of them, and then the people who are here, Jodo Shinshu priests, you are one of the over 30,000, Jodo Shinshu ordained priests. And then about 10,000, 1/3 is female priests, and then 20,000 male priests. So compared with other, Japanese Buddhist tradition, Jodo Shinshu has a more kind of female, ordained priest. But anyway, so this is a system. So, Jodo Shinshu Honganji has this academic rank, and then the Kangaku is the top, and this system started 1824. The number fluctuated, but not only one Kangaku. There are appointments of plural Kangaku priests. Then before this Kangaku system started, there was Jodo Shinshu had a no-ke system, which started 1807. And then this system, only one top scholar. So this Kangaku system, we have multiple, head academic scholarly priests. But this no-ke system, only one head, scholarly priest who was in charge of Jodo Shinshu doctrinal matter. And then I'm showing the 7 or 8 top, we call Noke. So this Noke is the title of the head priest or top scholarly priest. So the last one was Chido, then 6 Noke was Hozo, 5th Noke was Gikyo. And then the first one, there are 2 theories, Jungen and then Saigi. So officially, institutionally, right now, Saigin is said to be the first Noke. Although there is another scholar before Saigin, Jungen-san. But his affiliated temple later converted to Higashi. So that's why Nishi Honganji deleted existence from this list of, Noke, history. So, I'm talking about the history of Jodo Shinshu Honganji today. There are so many these kind of things here and there. We are very humane or very Bonbu organization. Unfortunately, we are a Buddhist organization, but there are so many these kind of dramas, things happen in the past. But anyway, as I said, this Noke is the head of Honganji's school to educate priest, Obo-san. And then in those days, there are 2 schools. Maybe for the first 2, the school was called Gakuryo. And then from the second Noke, head priest, and then the school was called Gakurin. And then this Gakuryo, the first one, started 1639 by 13th Monshu Ryonyo Shoin. So according to the record, there are 30 rooms, dormitory rooms, accommodate 2. So we can tell about 60 students, priests came, from different places of Japan in Kyoto and then studied. But it was closed 1655. I'll talk about later about why. Actually, it's not closed, it's kind of destroyed, kind of tore down. And then after that, we have another school, Gakurin, established 1695. So there was a kind of blank between about 40 years after the closure of Gakurin. And then this school started from Gakuryo, became current Ryukoku University. So in other words, Ryukoku University, according to their calculation, so Ryukoku started here. 1639 is the start of Ryukoku University. So one of the most, kind of the oldest university in the world. So anyway, because of this school, teachers, and then students gathered from different places of Japan, studied hard. So that's how this time period that we can see the huge development, the Jodo Shinshu doctrinal studies. And then, today I'm talking about the history. This is because some of you are familiar with Japanese history. So there's a Sengoku period, about 130, 50 years. So here and there in Japan, they had a fight all over. Daimyo of each country, region wanted to be the lord of Japan, so they had to fight each other. There are a lot of war. And then after that, the Tokugawa clan became the top, lord of Japan, and then started the shogunate. So during this period of time, Honganji, although they are not a daimyo, but they had a network, people all over Japan under the control of this one big temple. So in one sense, Honganji is one of the most powerful, clans or daimyo in those days. And actually, Honganji had a fight with Nobunaga for 10 years, right? 10 years. So that's how Honganji has enough kind of resources, power. But after over 100 war period of time, this new administration, new period, people wanted peace and stability of the society. So that's why the shogunate tried to do many policies to control the power of temples and shrines. So that's why how the shogunate kind of direct temples and the priests to study more about the doctrine or focus on more ritual chanting. So that is the kind of historical background why this happened. Right? So this gakuryo started 1639. Right? The period started 1603. So this is a kind of background why Jodo Shinshu Honganji Doctrinal things developed so much. So then, which is good, many Jodo Shinshu priests study hard and then they compose a book. So this is a kind of commentaries, interpretation of larger sutra, Kyogyo Shinsho. It's a kind of prosper of Jodo Shinshu doctrines and the commentaries. However, so that's why kind of chaos. Kind of many different opinions, ideas, interpretations of doctrine here and there. Yeah. So that's why in the Edo period, we call like a three, Edo no Sandai Horo, three big doctrinal disputes, starting from Jodo no Gekisho and then Meiwa no Horo, and then Sangō Wakura. Yeah. So they are just major threes, but there are huge many disputes all over Japan over the Jodo Shinshu doctrine, teaching, interpretation. So those are the kind of the Noke in charge of those three disputes. I briefly introduce what they are, what happened. So this is the first one. Jodo no Gekisho is Noke, the first Noke Saigin, and then Gekkan, who is a Jodo Shinshu priest in the Kumamoto prefecture. So Gekkan criticized what the Saigin taught at the Gakurin. As a headmaster, he gave a lecture to the student. And then Gekkan, he had also many student. And then he heard from his student, the Saigin is teaching this and that at the Gakurin. And then he thought, no, what he says is wrong. And then he started criticizing, Saigin. And then this top, Saigin Noke was appointed by Monshu, right? So in other words, Monshu has a kind of responsibility of this appointment. And then Gekkan supported by Jungen of the Koshoji temple. So Koshoji is one of the kind of major affiliates of Honganji school. Although right now it becomes independent, one of the 10 schools of Jodo Shinshu right now. But in those days, they are still under Nishi Honganji, Honganji. And then one of the major, because we're located next to Honganji, this is one of the major affiliates. And then under there, they have another affiliated temples. This is how Edo shogunate tried to control the temple. So Edo shogunate, they communicate the top temple. And then this top temple, for the orders from the shogunate government to the lower, temple. That's how shogunate tried to control shrines and temples. So that's how this, dispute beginning initially two scholars kind of developed to the conflict, fight, dispute between Honganji and then Koshoji group. And then because this disputes kind of get worse, so government, shogunate, stepped in and then tried to settle. And then this is how Gakuryo was closed. But no punishment to Saigin. but the Gekkan, he was exiled. So which means he was wrong. So what he said was okay. So this time, Noke won, and this Gekkan lost. And then this is the Meiwa no horo, second one. So this is about a dispute or discussion about Gohonzon. So right now we have this Gohonzon, so standing Amida statue. And then sometimes people ask, Sensei, why not sitting with statue? So Jodo Shinshu tradition, when we have a Amida, scroll statue, always standing, not the sitting. There is a doctrinal reason. And then this is one of the discourses about what kind of, statue, Gohonzon, we should use. And then, Horin-san, the fourth Noke, Horin, he wrote a book about the Gohonzon. And then one of the Chisen, he again criticized. Because Horin, he said the Amida for the Gohonzon image should come from Contemplation Sutra. But Chisen, he said, no. Larger sutra is the true teaching, true sutra. So our Gohonzon, the image should come based upon the description in the larger sutra. This is how the dispute started. And then during the dispute, those two, the main figure, they passed away. And then next, Noke took over. And then this time, Monshu kind of supported the interpretation, this Contemplation Sutra. So, I put the pages of this book. You can look at how Amida is described for each section. And then based on the description in the Contemplation Sutra, this is how we have this physical statue of Amida. Again, this one, Monshu supported the Noke. So the minister, Chisen, he was defeated. So Noke won. And then Sangō Wakura. This is a kind of famous dispute, so some of you know, or maybe have heard the title name of this Wakuran. So this is about Shinjin, and then our action. So what happened when we have a Shinjin? Are we supposed to recite the Nembutsu? Should we supposed to bow? So this is a kind of discussion about Shinjin and then manifestation or liberation into our actual action. So the Noke Kozon, he was working with the Mukimyo Anjin. So according to the larger sutra teaching, Amida Buddha, established a vow to save, liberate all beings from samsara, attain Buddhahood. And then according to the larger sutra fulfillment passage, that vow was fulfilled. So some people understood, okay, I'm already saved, according to the larger sutra. So all we should do is just know the story in the larger sutra. So there is no spiritual engagement to the teaching. That is Mukimyo Anjin, Anjin without entrustment. Just knowing the information or story in the larger sutra, some people call it, that is Shinjin, and you are already saved. So that's why Kozon, he kind of responded to that kind of wrong understanding. No, once we have Shinjin, of course we should say, our Shinjin drives us to say Nembutsu, or maybe Gassho, or always think about Amida. So Shinjin has to be connected to actual action. So that is his theory, especially in response to this wrong understanding. And then, like Daie, Hiroshima, or Doon, Osaka, those priests kind of criticize. No. And then this is how Sangō Wakura started. Anyway, so then this becomes really big fight. Actually, physical fight. Kind of people had a fight over this doctrinal idea. And then again, so Edo period, shogunate wanted to avoid kind of confusion or kind of fight in the country. So that's why again shogunate stepped in and then tried to settle. And then this time, Jisha Bugyo, so like a Bugyo of the temple and the shrine, he made a decision, right and wrong. So he is a very, although he was a Bugyo, had a good understanding, knowledge of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism. So that's why he made a decision. And then this time, those two people, Noke, what they say is wrong. What they say, interpretation was heresy. So that's how Honganji received the punishment from the government, and then they need to kind of receive the suspension for the like a temple business for 100 days. So anyway, so those are the kind of three disputes in the Edo period. So this time we see the development of doctrinal studies in here and there, but the thing is disputes over different interpretations. Speaking of this kind of disputes, Shinran Shonin's letter, right? So licensed evil or once calling, many calling. Shinran Shonin talks about the many issues, doctrinal issues in those days. And then Tanisho, especially second half, Tanisho talks about divergencies. And then Kakunyo Shonin hero to Kaijasho, Kudensho. So in the Jodo Shinshu tradition, how to handle this heresy or heterodoxy teaching. Sometimes we call Haja Kensho. This Haja Kensho is a for Chinese character. First two is destroying or defeating the wrong. And then second half is Kensho, revealing the correct right answer. So for example, Kakunyo Shonin's writing is Kaijasho is kind of Haja part, and then Kudensho is more like revealing correct part. Anyway, so I've just looked at some historical institutional background of this orthodoxy of Jodo Shinshu Honganji-ha. And then John Sensei also mentioned that some people, even today, some people don't like this word, orthodoxy, because this is right and wrong. And then if we take a wrong interpretation teaching, you are excluded. So this is more like an image of this word, right? And then, so that's why, because of that, maybe people, kind of connect this word to this, authoritarian attitude. But again, Honganji had so many issues, disputes, fight over the difference of doctrinal interpretation. And then that's how bring so-called Hawa Woso, right? So that's why as an organization, to run this organization smoothly, so we do need a governance, power to control this is right, this is wrong. So I would say this is the importance of Jodo Shinshu teaching, especially orthodoxy. I think I talked too long. I'm going to stop here. Back side of here is Anjin Rondai. So there are 30 topics, right now 17 topics about focusing on doctrine. And then, I don't have time. So if you're interested, we are going, JSIO will publish the book of this Anjin Rondai by Naito Sensei. We are working on the translation right now. はい、ありがとうございました。Thank you very much. どうも。どうも。